Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday, and welcome to Real Talk with Brian Poduska. I am Lyndon Wilson, creator of The Difference, and we are on The Difference radio live stream and podcast today. I want to tell everybody, if this is your first time watching, we're going to have a great show for you. We have Greg Holdburg with Liberator Health Insurance. We have a special guest host today, Loan Officer Mark. He's one of our regular co-hosts, but he's filling in today for another one of our co-hosts that couldn't make it. And then Greg Holdburg's going to have his guest today. Brian Poduska is the host of the show, and he's going to come on in just a second. First, I want to tell everybody just a little bit about The Difference. We created this almost 2 years ago now to help small businesses, entrepreneurs, and independent contractors and folks in the real estate industry, and help them connect better with the other businesses that are available out there, and also the people within their community. And what we do is we want to bring them on and allow them to share their stories of inspiration, determination, perseverance, and just overcoming the obstacles that we all face as entrepreneurs and small business owners. And bringing these stories to life really helps you understand who these people are that you may be hiring, especially if you're someone in these communities that really believes in shopping local, hiring local, and buying local. And so we want to promote these small businesses because everybody knows, especially with 2020, it was a tough year for most. And all that we can do to help these small businesses connect and continue to grow and continue to do the things within the communities that they do, we want to be able to do that. So I'm going to bring on now a small business owner, my buddy Brian Poduska. How you doing, Brian?
You know what, Lennon? I am doing well today. I am happy to be back in the fold here. As we know, last week I was doing planes, trains, and automobiles. As I got to spend a little bit of time with some family up in the Chicago area, which is where I'm from. So yeah, it's good to be back and on the show live again, and excited for the show today.
Well, good. Yeah, you did have a pretty neat trip, and I was a little jealous on one of your pit stops you got to make, but
yeah.
I actually had a chance to go up there tomorrow. One of my buddies contacted me, and he said, "Hey, I got tickets to the Super Regionals tomorrow. Do you want to come up?" But unfortunately, I've got some things that I have to take care of here at home, and can't make it. But yeah, go Hogs! Arkansas baseball is on fire right now, and I couldn't be happier.
You're gonna yeah. So for those who don't know, I made a pit stop for my kids to see the campus of the University of Arkansas. So are you gonna give us a pig suey chant or anything?
I don't do that. I root for them, but I don't do that. So
come on, man, come on.
I will say go Hogs. That's about as lively as I can get on that.
All right, fair enough. So how's everything going in my absence? We're still good.
We're good. Obviously, I filled in last week. I don't know that I did as good a job as you do, but I did my best. We did have a good guest, and obviously our co-host. We have a really, really good team of co-hosts. I'm really excited about that. What we're doing with this show here, and. But before we go further, Brian, tell everybody about Real Property Management Focus and a little bit about you, and then we'll get everybody else on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Lyndon. Yeah, so Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. So we basically are a full-service brokerage that helps, key clients are investors who are intentional, or small-time investors or first-time investors. We can kind of help across the entire range of anybody who's looking to get into real estate investing. And really what we have to offer, which is unique to the industry, a nice tool called Wealth Optimizer, which really in a nutshell, what it does is it holistically looks at a potential real estate investment and looks at it from all different angles and tells you what your long-term returns can be. So it's not just a cash flow model. It factors in local appreciation factors. It factors in your depreciation that you can take with investment properties. So that's one of the tools we offer on kind of the front end as far as, when you're looking for an investment property. Then we can handle the purchase as well. And then obviously the management piece, it's in our name. So that's what we do. And then we can help you on the back end with the sale. Hopefully not an eviction in the middle there. But so yeah, that is really real property management in a nutshell, where we do focus on your real estate investments. But we're not here to talk just about real property management. We've got, like you mentioned, two awesome co-hosts, and one of three, one of or two of eight, I guess we can say. But our loan officer Mark is filling in for James Kern, who couldn't be here with delicate moving. So thanks to Mark for stepping in. So it's always great to have a little bit more participation, and it shows the awesome teamwork that we have with all our co-hosts.
Right. It does. Mark was gracious enough and quick enough, man. He was Johnny on the spot this morning when we reached out for fill in. Like all of a sudden, boom, there he is.
Well, when you say big flex, I think the biggest guy in the group stepped in and flexed his muscle.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. So we're happy to have him fill in for James today. We hate James can't be here, but he'll be back, I'm sure, on the next one, and we'll get to hear from him and what he does with delicate moving. So we ready to bring in the two gentlemen that makes the show go besides you?
Yeah, let's bring them in. What's up, guys? Come on in. There they are. There's Mr. Flex himself.
I'm here. Welcome to Clubhouse, y'all. You guys are on Clubhouse for the very first time. I'm going live on there. So
that's cool.
The difference is now on Clubhouse. It's official. And yeah, like we say, or like my good friend ADU guy says, Rahelio, when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So let's go.
I like it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's why Mark's new nickname is Flex right there.
That's right. Well, gentlemen, let's take a moment. I'd like you guys to just introduce yourselves to the audience, and then we'll come back and bring in your guest, Greg. But why don't we start with Mark, because we'll bring in the guest after you get to talk.
Sure.
Awesome.
Well, awesome to be here again, guys. Loan Officer Mark coming to you. My name is Mark Kretzky. I'm a loan officer with Movement Mortgage here in Dallas. Very much love being a part of the Difference community. We work with a lot of different types of people, but I would say primarily first-time home buyers with a lot of veterans, and really starting to get a little bit more of the move-up buyers. And so I'm here to talk about kind of the real estate market overall, and how it's been evolving over the last couple of weeks. And I felt like it would be a great time and a great opportunity to come back on and tell y'all what we've got going on.
Yeah, because you guys haven't been busy at all for the last, I don't know, year and a half with the rates where they're at and the craziness that happened when COVID hit and everything like slammed in that industry. And then, yeah, so you've had a lot of time on your hands.
It's been the way that Movement and my team reacted and responded, and we have a lot of sayings in the company, but we made our motto adapt and overcome, and that's exactly what we did. The efficiency increases and like upgrades that we've done and have accomplished and put in, they've been paying off dividends this last season, because getting offers accepted is not easy. And it makes it a lot easier for me and my buyers to be able to go out there and tell a seller that they're not only fully pre-approved, but I have a story of Monday afternoon, we submitted a loan with a contract at 1:06 p.m. and it was approved by the underwriter by 4:35. If that doesn't give certainty, I don't know what will. And so that's what we're about, is providing the certainty to all the parties involved, and not only uncertain times that we find ourselves in, but every time I work with my clients, it's one of the most uncertain time of their lives. And so we put a big focus on really efficiency, transparency, education, and good old fashioned debt advice. So that's what we do.
That's awesome. And that might be a world record as far as the approval goes.
That's pretty fast.
To tell you the truth, it's not, which is like, it still surprises me what we do and pull off. And it really shouldn't, because it's really like we pull off miracles every single month. But when you do it like that and the consistency at which we do it, it's no longer a miracle. It's just what we do.
Right on. That's awesome. I guess the big question is, were you able to get an appraisal within, 2 months?
Well, I mean, I tell my clients, I am not here to spend your money. Appraisers, I mean, they've got crazy demand. They're running all over the place, but supply and demand are real, right? And so prices have gone up. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, we're probably 10 to 14 days average turn time. I ordered one with a rush on Monday out in Denton, and we've got it due back on the 16th. And it was $800, but I mean, again, now we've got the certainty of when it's going to be coming in, and we can get everything finalized well ahead of closing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I say that question was joking because, obviously 2 months is.
It got bad with the winter freeze, though. I mean, it was, I remember starting up on the show right around then, and that was not a good time to be an LO providing certainty with a appraisal.
Yeah, be careful what you promise, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, enough about me, y'all. Greg is the rock star here. I'm just filling in.
All right. Well, in that case, rock on, buddy. Let's go. What's up, Greg?
I never thought I'd have rock star with my name associated in one, but you'll never hear me called Flex. That's for sure. Definitely. But no, just talk a little bit about my area, and it's the health insurance business and industry. Things are going really, really well. And as I mentioned before, one of the things that I try and do is to be more of an educator than just an insurance broker or salesman to people. People ask me, well, I mean, is there a perfect plan out there? There isn't. It doesn't exist. But what the goal is to get plans that you can design that will fit specifically your needs. So trying to tailor these things. So one of the nice things I like about being independent is I work with several different companies, and there are times where I will write policies that's broken up amongst 2 or 3 different healthcare providers, because it just makes sense to do it that way, where one will have a better accident portion of the plan, the other one has a better hospitalization of the plan, and another one might have something better that handles doctor visits better. So I'm constantly looking at that. Something that I kind of wanted to try this month is sort of my tip of the month, because as I mentioned, I tend to be more of an educator than a salesman in this world, and that kind of revolves around what you can do to make things easier for you. And I came across a study the other day, and we'll call it my tip of the month has to do with pharmacies. And what people don't understand is sometimes these are people that have insurance. They go to the pharmacy, they hand them their card, they get their discounted amount, and they pay X amount. Sometimes they go and they're not going to get the $40 charge with $50. They're going to get charged $150 or $200. I went and got an inhaler last month and used an insurance card, and it was over $200. And they told me how much the insurance company took off on that. So, but how does that really work? Consumer Reports did a study. They put 150 secret shoppers, spanned them out across the country, and they found that the price you pay, even if you have insurance, can be more than if you just went without insurance and did some price shopping. So, as an example, they took 5 common drugs, ranged from $66 for these 5 very common drugs, this is without insurance, all the way up to $900 for the same exact drugs in different areas of the country and different pharmacies. So to give you an idea, it doesn't just have to be like if Chicago or LA or Dallas. In Dallas alone, they did a study with Cymbalta, and that's a very common antidepressant drug. And they went out and they found that the price range on that was from $22 for the whole prescription to $251. So, I mean, it's massive. So before you just pull your card out and hand it to them and pay whatever it is you've got to pay for your prescription, you might want to keep the card in your pocket and go out online to GoodRx, Single Care, WeRx. There's 100 of them out there now. And just do a little shopping before you go, because you may find that you're going to get your drugs cheaper than if you go through your insurance company. That's my tip of the month.
Tip of the month, be a consumer.
That's it.
All right. All right.
You're a healthcare consumer advocate here.
All right. Well, hey, really quick before we bring on your guest, Greg, let's talk about basically all you have to do is drop in the comments. What is it? Hashtag RealTalk or hashtag the difference, I believe, right?
Just hashtag Real Talk.
Okay.
We simplified it. It's going to be scrolling at the bottom. And go ahead, Brian. Just you can explain it, but I just want to make sure everybody knew it is Real Talk.
Yeah. Okay. So just if you're listening, drop in hashtag RealTalk in the comments, and we will have a drawing at the end of the show to basically make you eligible for our quarterly drawing, which will be a 7-night resort getaway for up to 4 guests. And this isn't a timeshare presentation or anything like that. It's a legit 7-night resort getaway for up to 4 guests. And that, like I said, drop in hashtag RealTalk. That gets you in the drawing for the quarterly.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay, good deal. So with that being said, a little teaser. Greg, I'll throw it back to you.
Sure. I'd like to go ahead and introduce my guest now. If you go ahead and bring her in. This is Jessie Bolton, and she is founder and CEO of Bolt Resources. She is an executive recruiter, and she specializes in information technology and information security. And I met her, a couple weeks ago now. And my former background, my former life was technology. I was in the IT world, corporate world, and we just hit it off. We just geeked out at each other with all the fun things about infotech, especially with everything that's going on with information technology. For the last year and a half, it's been COVID all the time. And all of a sudden now we're starting to see all these hacks. We're starting to see, issues with the cloud, and the information technology industry is just booming. And so I thought, gee, I'd really love to have Jessie on the show. And let me go ahead and bring her in, and she can introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her organization.
Thank you, Craig. Yes, geeking out. I'm a secret nerd a little bit. My organization, Bolt Resources. So a couple of years ago, I went out on my own, and IT, we is actually me. I'm doing all the IT recruitment, cybersecurity, executive search. And really what I decided to do is look at all the gaps in recruiting, learn from my experience, and learn from the leaders and the mentors that I've done business with, and do it a little bit differently. I cater toward the candidate, coaching them in the process, but not only doing the recruiting, I see where agencies have they focus on getting them the placement right with the client, but not focusing on what they need and giving them the proper tools. So I do that. I backing it up a little bit more, when I go out and get new customers or clients, I focus more on the bigger picture, what the gaps are. Okay, but I'm also doing coaching. I'm building programs in between the recruiting. I'm an executive recruiter. I'm an IT recruiter, but also I'm really big on coaching them and mindset coaching.
Awesome.
Yes, mindset coach. I don't know if you want to ask questions. This is my first.
We're gonna fire away.
Fire away. But yes, IT cybersecurity exems. Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome, and obviously a very relevant topic right now. Like you mentioned, there's a bunch of piracy going on with some big issues. So we'll get into that in a little bit. What I always like to understand from our guests. Mm-hmm. So you said you started up on your own a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Yeah. So what inspired you to go out on your own?
Yes. And it's never really on your own. There's other people there. But I would say 7 years ago, I started my career right after a divorce, and I have 2 daughters. I remember the first year I was recruiting. So I want to help people. That's where, my passion is. But when you're interviewing to become a recruiter, They don't want to hear that. They want to hear you're there to make money. You're a go-getter, you're this, you're that. And I'm thinking, well, shoot, I haven't worked, a few years. I don't know what I'm doing. Luckily, I have a business degree, but okay. So I said the right things. I got in there, and then I'm looking at these IT resumes. I'm talking to people, and I just wanted to quit every day. And then once I got the hang of it, thanks to my manager and now mentor, I really got the hang of it. I was blessed to grow my network. And then after about three and a half years in between jobs, I did hop around a little bit to get, a better understanding of the business, different cultures and leadership and different agencies. I started thinking, okay, I want to go and do this on my own. Maybe I can go and do this. And then a client said, hey, can you find me an engineer? And I said, give me a minute. I'll start my LLC and, get
other details,
Yeah, just a little bit, right? And I don't know, sometimes through the process of growing and leveling up in life, I think that you have to not pretend, but you have to step into the person you want to be. It's very important to do so and ask a lot of questions. And that's what I did. That's where it all started. I still had to go work for other agencies, and I put it on the back burner, be on my own, but I took that first step. And in the process, that voice inside your head gets a little bit stronger, and you think, okay, I don't want to be, working for a company when I could go and do this on my own. And so I got with a couple of people and branched out and started the process and growing and still growing. There's a lot in there I could talk about, but
hey, this is your time to shine. So go ahead.
All right. Well, so with entrepreneurship, as you guys probably know, it's a lonely world. There's my daughters and myself. And so I'm constantly on my own and learning every day. There's been a few people, and I'm constantly pouring into other people, but they ask me, what are you doing? Why, I can't do that. There's people who have been in the business, leaders, VPs and executives who have been in recruiting, and they don't go on their own. And I look at myself and think, well, I think I'm a little crazy, but it has to be. I think for the person that wants to go out on their own right now and thinking, how can I do it? I would say mind management, learning how to get through you're going to go through challenges. And so I'm sitting on my couch a lot of the times at home during COVID when everything was nuts around me and shutting everything down. And I went into hiding, like hibernation. And I thought, okay, you either quit right now and regret, ever going out on your own, or you pivot and you learn every day. And so I started waking up at 4:30 in the morning, making time for educating myself, reading, drenching myself in everything IT, cybersecurity, but also entrepreneurship, business ownership, going through my resources and talking to people. And it's been lonely though, right? It's a grind every day to be sharp and to deliver on your promises to clients, customers, candidates. And so I don't have a social life, and I'm saying a lot of no's to friends and people I care about so I can grow.
Well,
I've got a question for you, Jesse.
Yes.
We've talked on so many of these shows about just what you're saying about being isolated, and we all look out on social media and we see everybody's highlight reel, right? Everybody's successful, it's just easy, and we start to question our own ability sometimes. Who has been your biggest inspiration of perseverance and determination?
My biggest inspiration. So, yes. I read somewhere, and I read a lot of books, that if you do not have a mentor or a support system, you got to make your own. And that's through books, reading or listening to podcasts and leaders that you respect. And I have a couple of mentors that in my own life in the industry. And one is Rich Little and Matt Baumberger. I respect them. They know business development. They know the just leadership altogether and how to lead others and make stuff happen. And Rich, he had a saying, and it was GSD, get stuff done, right?
You can say that. You can say the real word. It's okay.
Shit done. It
There we go.
And it's that no excuses mentality. And so he inspired me. My first boss, Kevin Morley, man, he had me picking up that phone all the time. I was the first one to go in there, last one to leave because I didn't want to tick them off. They inspire me. But then there's also, there's other authors of books. Oh gosh, I gotta say, Greg Murph. He is president of Places Technologies, and he is my first client in business partnership. And he is my inspiration, and I want to be him when I grow up. And so even though, we've done business together, I will call him. And right now I'm in the middle of building a resource package for the IT professional that wants to transition into cybersecurity. That's a fun project of its own. And he's working with me to help me build a learning management system potentially, and do other things that I won't speak of quite yet to gain competitive advantage in the industry. But yes, he's my number one supporter, and yes, he's been the game changer in what I'm doing.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I've got another one for you, and we're gonna hopefully not rapid fire you.
I've got a question.
I like it. It keeps me
excited.
Go ahead, Mark. If you're ready, go ahead.
Well, so you were talking about going into the hibernation mode and going in and going deep and really getting tactical. But I know a lot of us have been there, and I know a lot of us that don't make it out the other side. So Tell us a little bit about your why. I know you said you like to help people, but I have a feeling that it wasn't just that helped you get out of that zone and into where I see you today for the first time, kicking ass.
Thank you, Mark. So there's a lot there. I've got a story that just my dad, he worked relentlessly. And so it starts with just my childhood, and he was very, very tough on me. And so knowing my mom, my dad, both, they work hard. And so I had that to set, my work ethic. But then I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I never saw myself being in a business leadership position or even having my business. But after 2 daughters and living a lot of life at a younger age, I went back and got my business management degree. And so with that comes, 2 kids. I had 2 daughters, and I'm going to school for 4 years. Gosh darn it. That built my resilience. And somewhere in there, I thought, okay, if I don't do this to set the example for my daughters, no one is going to. And if I want to attract, because I'm single, I'm single again, but I was single then. You gotta be, you've got to block all the distractions out. But I remember thinking, if I want to attract positivity in my life and the quality people, then I have to become that person, and not let my mistakes and all that I've done wrong prevent me from taking that leap of faith and pressing on and becoming the woman that I aspire to be. And so through a lot of challenges and really sad and lonely seasons, I actually ended up getting married. I got divorced after a few years, but during that, I'm just weaving and bobbing through and becoming this person. But it was education. It was surrounding myself with the right people and eliminating the wrong ones, being humble and learning through that process. And also, I think as you grow into the person that you're meant to be, we all face these limited beliefs, right? Do you guys like my nails? There's a story behind that. I got to get this done for this event tonight. We won't talk about that. Okay, so I talk with my hands, and I'm realizing it being on video. That's fun. Anyway,
Greg has matching nails. He can show us on the screen.
Oh man, I'm going to get back to you on that, Greg. Okay, so as I look back and I evaluate myself, I'm very highly analytical of myself. I'm hard on myself and others. I'm learning not to be, but I think what I've learned to do is when there's fear, knocking on the door, which it does, there's days I don't want to do what I'm doing and just say, okay, I'm going to press the pause button and regroup. I push through those fears, and that's when you're growing. And that's how I've become successful, and I'm going to continue, growing. It's hard though. So that it's pressing through the fear and the, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know about this podcast. Craig asked me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not video is everything. Podcaster is everything. Clubhouse, all of that. And that's where I need to grow. And I know it. I know I need to get more comfortable and not so nervous, but I am who I am. And I thought, heck, this is where you need to grow. Do it. And so there you go. Did that answer your question, Mark?
You certainly did.
Okay.
You certainly did.
Okay.
I am one that is not a fan of comfort zones. And so that's exactly what you just outlined at the very end, is all of our growth is at the perimeter of our comfort zone.
It really
and you put that behind you, and I mean, all of a sudden, and it kind of goes back to the McConaughey quote of who is your hero? And he said, it's me in 10 years. And it's the man that I have to be to be able to be my hero. And I think there was a little bit of that in your answer, so I loved it.
I got a quick question for Mark and for Jesse and Brian, you and Greg too. But Mark, you just talked about you're not a fan of comfort zones. How important is it to surround yourself with like-minded people that aren't happy with comfort zones? Because if you get associated with a group of 5 to 10 people that love just kind of gliding, it makes it a challenge for you. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And that is why I love Clubhouse so much. All of a sudden, and I have been living through exactly what Jesse was saying of you're on your own, you're on an island, and it is lonely, and you look around you and it is a just sea of mediocrity. And you've got some people that post their highlights on Instagram, but we all know deep down it's all just a highlight reel. And so I love running from that comfort zone. As soon as I find myself in one, I realize something's got to change. And it was part of what brought me to Dallas, and it is what led me to be who I am today, who, if you asked me, would I be doing the things that I am actively doing every single day 3 years ago? Never mind 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, I would have said, you're crazy. Like, that's not me. But all of a sudden you put in those days and those hours and those mornings, like you pointed out, Jesse, there's something about that morning that makes a difference. And so, run from your comfort zone at all costs.
Yeah.
That's why we shouldn't retire, y'all. That's where your health will go downhill. I think Greg can talk about that.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, he's muted, but so one little nugget I took out of your awesome description of how the journey that you've been through, Jesse, kind of that effort mentality. I don't think you use those exact words, but I think that kind of sums it up, because you're right. Along with what Mark said, is you get to those challenges and you can either run away from them, or you can get out of your comfort zone and just say F it and let's go. I know a lot of us on the show, and we hear it from our guests all the time, none of us knew how to do any radio show or anything like that. We've never done podcasting, but, we got out of our comfort zone, and, we're not the most polished people, but I think that's what makes it human. Right. And like you said, being alone a little bit, I think finding folks that have experienced some of those things, whether it's a mentor or, a parent or a friend who can kind of guide you through those things. I think that makes a big difference. And again, I think that's what we have going on here at The Difference.
Yeah. I'm sort of a silver lining kind of a guy. I look at everything with, okay, what's happening, and what's going to come out of this for the good. So if something bad happens, it's almost like saying, good, let's see what's going to go. For instance, during this whole process, we're all quarantined, nobody's meeting, it's very difficult to surround yourself with positive people if you can't get out amongst them. Yes, you can do the Zoom meetings and all that, but it's not the same. So one of the things I'm really excited about is being able to get out, get involved in some of these mixers, meet new people like Jesse, you and I did the other night. And I'm really seeing a positive thing. The other positive thing, I think, and I kind of wanted to bounce this off you, Jesse, was because one of the things that came out of COVID was people realized, hey, I can work from home. Then the next thing that came out of that, you know what? I can work anywhere with the technology today. So now what we're starting to see is people starting to sell their homes, which is one of the big booms in real estate. They're relocating, and Dallas is one of the big relocation hubs. I think we ranked number 3 or 4. And so people are coming into our community here. Well, they're going to need real estate. They're going to need loans. They're going to need all kinds of different things, and hopefully insurance. So I think there's benefits that are going to be coming out of all of this. And as far as how you operate, I mean, are you calling or canvassing or looking for people that all over the U.S. or kind of where's your sphere of influence and where you're trying to draw from? Because it seems like you could get people very willing, especially from California. As an ex-Californian, I can tell you, I got out of there early, but I know a lot of people that can't wait to get out of there, and they're very highly skilled, and they look at the price of housing and cost of living here, and they're ready to go.
Absolutely. It's everywhere. So I'm here in Frisco, the Dallas area, but I do not just cater to Dallas, especially, clients now and organizations, cybersecurity, IT, accounting, finance, banking, healthcare. They don't care where this person is. A lot of them don't, as long as they can get things done. So it would be really tough just to focus here in Dallas. But yes, remote is the name of the game. I've actually thought about Florida. A lot of folks are moving to Florida also, IT and cybersecurity.
Especially after that winter we had.
Oh dear. Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
You and me both.
No doubt. Another question for you, Jesse, just on the specifics of your business, and I guess it'll be twofold. So I guess let's start with the first one. What's your biggest challenge? Is it your competition? Is it I guess what is your biggest challenge? Because I think you have a very unique industry. So would love to hear about that.
My biggest challenge is wanting to do it all. You have to be careful as a business owner or entrepreneur. You have to, if you go out on your own and you try to do it all, you're never going to get really good at one area. And so what I'm learning is my biggest challenge is wearing all the hats. One that small, like I'm at a tipping point of I'm ready to hire a team, ready to grow, get an assistant, but not quite yet. It's letting go of control. And my competition, I respect. I find it more helpful to give business away and join, collaborate, or partner with other agencies. I'm not big on, hey, this is mine, I want to hide my secrets. I do. Some of them I do, yes. But I think the advantage I have is just feeling for people. I connect with people easily. I love on them. I really give a crap about what they're going through. I take time to slow down and get to know who I'm doing business with. And it's not just business. We're all partnering together, whether it's a candidate and I'm going to help you. I'm going to go behind the scenes and see what I can do to help you. Or the client side, the executives, the business leaders. I'm genuinely friends with them. And what sets Bolt Resources apart is as we grow, as I grow, as Bolt grows, there will be multiple verticals, but it will be more of a concierge service where, like right now, my clients and my partners, they know they can call me in the evenings, on the weekends. I'm working. I will work for, depending on the priority and sense of urgency, of course. And as I grow, my team, I want to hire people that actually want to help people, right? And that's a big no-no in recruiting. You can't say, I want to help people. So that's the reverse. And I think that's what gives me the advantage above the competition is we're going to slow down. We're going to cater to you. We're big on customer service. And also I have a heart for a growing passion for cybersecurity. And it didn't happen overnight, but I really want to know what I'm talking about and know the market. And I do.
All right. So what inspired you to get deeper on that in that field specifically? I mean, obviously there's been crazy news stories over the last several months, but it sounds like you were into it before. What inspired you on that one?
So a couple of things. IT, so I don't consider myself a nerd or anything and know it inside out, but I learned an appreciation. I developed an appreciation for it and the people behind the scenes that are, software developers or network engineers, and all the in between. And then as cybersecurity grew more popular, and now it's pivotal. I mean, that's a mess right now. There's a big gap right there. But so I'll share a secret with everybody.
All right.
If you're in my inner circle, my friends know this, and my daughters and things, and some people. But my alter ego, I would say, is like Special Agent Jesse Bolton, right? And like in another life, I would be CIA, FBI agent, right? And do all this, interrogate and investigate. Well, so in cybersecurity, it's kind of like that. I can go in there. I'm not the cybersecurity, professional per se, but I love it. I find it very fascinating, and I want to get the bad guys, and I want to help go find the pros, the badasses that can go get the bad guys. And I'm their leader. I'm their agent. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're gonna, you probably got a super woman or an FBI agent unit under there. Yeah, there you go.
That's so cool.
We all women have a Wonder Woman inside. They do.
Love it. Well, that's
all men love Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
This is true.
And that is something I was going to add too. Is we have to step into who we want to be before we feel like it. That if there was a secret to success and growing and becoming who you want to be, or reaching your goals, it is you have to step into it before you feel like it. We're not going to feel like being our best every day, but we have to pretend to be or put it out there. Take that first step.
Yep, that's the number one rule in real estate investing or investing in general is, everybody asks, what's your biggest regret in investing? And everybody says, I didn't get into it sooner. So you're right. Take that first step. Go with it, So I did want to comment on your comment about wanting to be a CIA, FBI agent. My daughter, she's 16 years old, and that's what she wants to be when she grows up.
Awesome.
Yeah, blow up her spot before she even gets it, Brian. What are you doing, man?
They are on a hiring. They want to hire so quickly right now.
They rebranded and everything. I looked into going CIA after college, but I don't follow orders very well. And I make my opinions known, which not conducive.
That's funny. Yes.
Well, I have a follow-up question. So, you talked about the challenge, and I think I heard you kind of gloss over it, saying, in a way, it's me and wanting to do everything. Mm-hmm. And so what's next, and what's that next level for you, and what are your challenges yourself as an entrepreneur getting there?
So what's next? I was focused on my hair. So what's next, and then what was
I say it every single day. I need to stay out of my own damn way. Yes. And that's how I'm going to be successful. What are your challenges that you see that you've got to go up against in this new season to get to where you ultimately want to go next?
I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off of what you mentioned. So I'm in my own way all the time. I overthink things. I called Greg a handful of times before the show. Like, what do I do again? The link. The most simple things.
Yeah. See, look at this. You're barely able to perform here. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you, Greg. And in front of him, I go between, that, am I going to do this right? I need to do it perfectly. And if I can't do it perfectly, I don't want to do it at all. I'm an over planner, over analyzer. It's good for success. It can cripple you. And that's where I am. And I feel comfortable in my own skin as a business leader or executive CEO. Yes. But now it's time to grow. And now I have to let go of the reins a little bit and start building a team and trust. And so that's my concern right now. I know I have a lot of exciting things I'm doing with Bolt Resources and growing it, and fun things that other agencies aren't doing. And I respect them, yes, but I'm excited. And in order to grow and develop those ideas, I have to grow the team and depend on other people. And I have to understand I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna mess it up. But that's part of it.
Yeah, and one of the things I always hear and have experienced, leading groups in the past is, to your point, Jesse, you're going to have to hire somebody, and you need to give the reins over. What happens oftentimes is you wait too long to make that hire, and your life becomes even more and more difficult because you just get to the point where you can't do it all yourself.
Right.
So I've heard many counterparts and many business owners say, I wish I would have made that first hire 6 months earlier, or whatever the time frame is. Mm-hmm. So something to think about as you're approaching that.
You're right, and I hear that voice in my head, and the people that help me along the way. It's getting to that point. It's a good problem to have, but I don't want to start, I guess, not being able to come through on my promises, which is what I'm known for. And so I have to be careful. And, I was telling Greg, I don't even have a website yet. I haven't had time to do it. In part, I was trying to get it done. I was trying to do the website. And now I'm thinking, that's not okay. I need to put that out. I need to let someone else do it. But it's because through my network, I've been able to make it, and IT's not going anywhere. Cybersecurity is growing. I'll be in business, but I need a website.
It can always be a little bit messy. And, one of the things that, as far as I look back with regret, I can say I'm the elder statesman here. So I think I got a lot of years on all of you. One of my biggest regrets is I didn't leave the corporate world soon enough. It was a pretty comfortable place to be. I mean, the benefits were good. The salary was good. I had, 5 weeks of vacation. I had that burn in my stomach that, I think I want to get out of this. And we also talk about, surrounding yourself with the right people. And there's that old story about, you put a bunch of crabs in the bucket and they keep trying to crawl out, but they never get out because as soon as one gets to the top, the other ones pull them back down in. The corporate world is just like that. And everyone will discourage you from, going off on your own to do things, no matter what it is, whether it's to go off in your own consulting or go off and sell insurance in my case. I had it done for me, though. They basically moved my job to India, and obviously I wasn't going to India. But that was like the best thing that ever happened. Right. But it took me probably about 3 hours before I realized this is fantastic. I think this is great. And only because I knew, okay, I finally got over that hurdle, and I started surrounding myself with people that were kind of directing me and helping determine, where I wanted to be. And I got involved in some areas that kind of lukewarm on, and then I kind of found my focus. And once I got there, like you, I just started digging into it and, digging up as much information as I can. How does everything work? Why does this work the way that it does? But in the meantime, not waiting to begin my business. Like, so what if you don't have your website? Who cares? Get out there. The business is there. That's all ancillary stuff. Get there. But as I say, it's going off on your own is the best thing I've ever done. My only regret is I didn't do it 20 years ago. I should have done it.
Yeah.
Back when I was young and handsome. And there.
At least you still got one thing going for you, Greg.
What? Well, I have lost a few pounds.
I think what Greg just touched upon and what Jesse was saying is so important. You just got to go, and the problems are the problems, and you're going to face them, and they're going to come at you, and you're just going to go through them like you have. As you were saying that, I don't know that we've talked about it on the show, guys, but it's something that I realized it's the way that I kind of operate in my head, which is when I have all of these to-dos, and every day I get so much done, but at the end of the day, there's a longer to-do than the day started. And just going through and identifying and really going through the filter of, I have to do this. Can I automate it? If I can't automate it, can I delegate it? And if I can't delegate it, do I need to do it, or do I just need to take this off and just quit? And every single day I'm going through that and identifying, like, I don't need to be doing that. I don't need to be doing that. I can either set that up once and it's done, or what's the best use of my time? It's not building a website. Lord knows I'll build a terrible one to begin with. And so just delegate that. And for anybody listening, if that helps at all, automate, delegate, delete. It's done wonders for me.
You're right, Mark. One of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs do make is not being an entrepreneur before. We feel like that if we're just really busy, things will go well, and we get caught up in that of being busy. And busy does not always transfer
I think
into.
we confuse busy for momentum.
Well, we confuse busy for productivity. All right, is this actually producing anything? Yep. Because you can stay busy, and that's the thing about a lot of people. Kind of like what Greg was saying, coming out of corporate world. You've been trained a lot that just show up from 9 to 5 and look busy, and you'll be okay. Right?
How many times have you asked somebody how they're doing? They just go, staying busy.
Right.
Okay. Is he doing what? Like, yeah.
You're right. You're right. And that discernment of, is this activity going to actually grow my business and produce revenue? Those are the things we need to be doing.
Yep, I think ROI mindset is very important. What's your return on investment? Because your time is your biggest investment that you can make.
Right.
Very true.
That's been one of the biggest things for me recently, and it's really translating for my agents that I work with, and just realizing and approaching that in reality, once we have a contract, unless we're celebrating and asking for referrals, we're in fulfillment stage. So nothing we do is an income producing activity. And so part of what I've worked on the last 6 months is setting it up to where we're just fulfilling at record speed and communicating more without actually doing any more work. And I think distinguishing that has been the biggest key for me, especially as of late.
Sounds like you have a little Lean Six Sigma process improvement training in you there, Mark.
Well, it's a never-ending journey, right? Like, I mean, it's a daily habit, and I mean, you forget about it for a little bit, you fall into that comfort zone. You look back and you go, oh, 3 weeks just went by. Where did that time go? Right? So, yeah, it's the constant journey, the constant battle, and again, staying out of my own damn way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, real quick, what I do want to mention is that if anybody listening wants to have a 30-minute conversation with anybody on the show today, all you have to do, give us a call, and you will win a round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, no strings attached, except that there's a few cities it doesn't serve, but what, 23 major?
23, 24, something like that.
So no strings attached. Again, don't have to go to any presentation. All you have to do, I guess the only string attached is you have to call on us and talk to us for a half hour. But hopefully we've been inspired enough by everybody on the show to do that. We don't need a two-day trip to do it, but that's an added bonus.
Right.
So we've got a few more minutes left. Do you guys, as co-host, do you guys have any final questions you want to ask Jesse?
I need a 2-day trip, y'all.
Go.
One thing I would like to add, if y'all don't have questions.
All right, fire away, Jesse. It's all yours.
So I think one thing I'm learning just from this show, and I appreciate the opportunity, all of you guys, is so before, you have in your head how you think it's all going to go, whether it's business or that first meeting, that interview in person, like with Greg, I'm confident, I have a swagger, but now it's very humbling because I didn't, rehearse or anything. And so I think through mistakes or looking back at how you did things, that we need to give ourselves grace as professionals, people in our personal lives, our relationships, but also doing things for the first time. You're not going to know how to do it, and you're going to mess up. And so I thought of everything I was going to say today. I don't know, a lot of it, but that's part of it. And I want people to know that if they're thinking about getting into, they want to start a business, you're not going to. I find myself telling people who have a lot more experience than me, like Greg was saying, do it now. It's never too late to go on your own. We all have gifts. We all have talent inside us, our passion. You put those two together, the more you know yourself, your identity, the more you can step out more bold, and take that first step in confidence, but know, hey, I have something I can give the world. We all do.
Well, you guys are all my heroes doing this. I look at, we all know how much sand is at the bottom of the glass. None of us know how much sand is in the top of the glass. So yes, I got into it late, but I'm going at it like I'm a 25-year-old. So
I love it.
Hey, I've got a couple of people here on Clubhouse. They haven't been around the whole time, but I'm going to ask them if they've got any questions for you or anybody on the stage. But also, as they listen in, Lyndon, can you tell us a little bit again about the trip and how they can find you on Facebook or the platforms and get themselves a free trip? Because if I was on there, I'd be mad at me if I didn't bring it up again.
Absolutely. So each week in every show that we do that is powered by the difference, we have opportunities for people to get getaways or giveaways. With this show, we have, and I'll pop this back up real quick. It's a 7-night resort getaway for up to 4 guests. That can be 2 adults, 2 kids. It can be 4 adults. And all you'll need to do next week is on our show here at 2 o'clock. The Real Talk is go in and comment either on Facebook or on YouTube on our channels there. You would go in and comment Real Talk, hashtag Real Talk. And the way, Mark, all they have to do is look up the Difference Radio live stream and podcast either on Facebook or on YouTube, and just follow along on those shows. And each show we have some sort of incentive for people to watch, because we do appreciate everyone watching. And then the other thing, if you're local and you give a call to our sponsors, or not sponsors, but our host, co-host, and guests, and you do a 30-minute consultation, they're going to contact me, and this is compliments of the difference, and we will give you airfare and hotel for 2 up to 23 different locations here in the continental U.S., Vegas being one of them.
I had to throw in the Vegas hook there. I like it. Awesome. Well, again, guys, I think we are out of time here, but co-host Mark, thanks for stepping in on short notice. We'll get James Kern next time he can make it. Greg, awesome guest today. Jesse, most of all, I think your journey has been super inspiring, and a lot of people can relate because they go through a lot of the same thoughts and fears and overcoming and all things like that. So you're inspirational. Thank you for sharing your journey, and thanks for being on the show today.
I'm going to jump in real quick and put her on the spot. She would make a great co-host or host of a show, which she not does.
There you go. Now who's the recruiter?
Now the pressure's on.
We can have a discussion.
All right.
Yes.
All
She's
right.
now on
Love
Clubhouse.
to have you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the opportunity, all of y'all. Mark, I want to talk to you a little bit more. I feel like you're, I know I'm an empath and I'm a connector. I feel that energy with you. And of course, Greg, with you. But I would like to talk
Sure.
offline. I'll be following up with you.
Yeah, he's just an afterthought.
Oh, boy.
Jesse heard all she had to do was talk to you for 30 minutes and she'd get a 2-day trip. So there you go.
Hey.
No, but again, I appreciate all you guys being on the show today. Co-hosts, I appreciate you every day, every time we talk about the difference. Again, Jesse, awesome job today. You were very inspiring. So thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you guys for your time.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Love y'all. Pleasure as always.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. We'll see everybody next week, Thursday, 2 to 3 o'clock. Real Talk with me, Brian Poduska. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.